everybody. Welcome to the Right Spotlight. I'm Kellen Ann.
I'm Brian Monahan.
And today we have a treat for you. Not only are we interviewing an author, but we have a little special surprise. So let's bring Ashley on.
A brand new intro.
You get
All right.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We asked him at the very literally 30 seconds ago, hey, you gonna play your guitar? It's kind of like how we do things on this show. Everything is like minimal to no notice.
It's a good job. I'm not shy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is great.
I do felt you were holding back in that second chorus, though.
Well, good thing you didn't have anything else in the background that you couldn't play and have us ask you to do it.
that would be embarrassing. Do you know, sometimes when people come on the Zoom, they go, "Oh, guitars, do you play?" And I go, "No, they're just for show." And they go, "Oh, fair enough."
Well, today, everybody, we have a special treat, and I just want to just give a little bit of background. I had the honor of meeting Ashley in London in June, and we both spoke at an event for Michael Heppel, and I got to share the stage with this amazing man. And in a podcast he was interviewing me, which we're going to talk about because his podcast is really fun and we need to promote that as well. But I found out he wrote a book, and I knew he wrote a book, but I'd completely forgotten about it because I'm like, oh my God, we have to have Ashley on because he did write a book. And that is the whole point of this show.
Woohoo!
Is we interview authors and we find out their journey and how they got there, why they decided to write a book, all that great stuff. So Ashley, thank you so much for being here.
No, this I was just saying to Brian, this is the first ever podcast live event, whatever you want to call it, that I've been invited on because I'm an author. And that is mind blowing because I normally get asked to come and speak because I know a little bit about LinkedIn, but specifically asked to come here because this is a show about authors, and I'm pinching myself. I am absolutely pinching myself. The honor's mine. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're pinching ourselves too, but we, that's a whole nother podcast.
Because we get free help every week.
Yeah, this is Kellen and I's therapy budget is a podcast. So
zero.
So what else are you going to do on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning if you're your side of the pond?
Yeah, where are you coming in from anyway?
I am coming in from the good old UK. And so literally your ancestors started off near to where I live. So I live just up the road from Plymouth. So just up the road from the Mayflower Steps, in a little seaside town called Sidmouth, because we're on the River Sid. And so I'm right on the coast. I go to walk to the beach every day, and I'm in the southwest of the UK. So I'm pretty close to a place called Exeter, which is 2 hours on the fast train to London. So I can be where I want to be if I want to. But it's so nice down here. I don't need to go anywhere.
I would never leave if I were you.
Yeah, we're going to come do the podcast at your place next time. So
there's plenty of room.
All right.
Oh my gosh. So so this is going to be new for you and exciting in a way because you get to talk about your expertise because your podcast, they don't allow you to. I just realized that you can't even talk about what you do on your LinkedIn Live. So let's give everybody a little tidbit of what you do.
So I'm known as the 15-minute guy. It says in the name there. And the reason is because I think when we do business, we go into Google Calendar or Outlook, and it says an hour. You book an hour for a meeting. Everyone just books an hour. But what happens is we fill the time. So if I've got an hour with you, I'll fill the time, even though I might only need 5-10 minutes with you. So I've started doing these 15-minute sessions. If someone wanted to talk to me, it's 15 minutes. Do you know how many people, when I sort of first meet them, say, "Hi, how are you? What do you want to get out of this meeting?" Do you know how many people turn around to me and say 50 minutes isn't enough? This is disgusting. I'm really upset about this. Do you know how many people have said that to me?
Probably nobody.
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. And when we get to minute 14, they're saying, well, we're nearly out of time, but thanks ever so much. And I go, is there anything else? Well, if you've got a minute, that would be great. And they ask, but no one minds. Because the other thing is, I'm respecting their time as well. And so we get so much done. If you've got 15 minutes to do something, you'll do it. I don't know if you've ever sort of like got up in the morning and thought, oh my goodness, I'm an hour late. I've slept in for an hour. You can still get out the door by 8 a.m., can't you? You still do it.
Well, for the record, we do that with the podcast every Saturday. My backdrop wasn't up. I didn't have coffee. I didn't have the laptop set up at 10, even 15 minutes ago. So, in fact, now you were here 15 minutes early. So, I mean, he definitely is on brand.
He 15-minute guy.
I'm like, I better be there by 9:55 because I know this guy's going to show up 15 minutes before we start.
And everybody knows I'm going to be late. So
yeah, he's like, is Kellen going to join us today? I go, she'll be here. Trust me, she'll be here.
You've got an excuse though, haven't you, Kellen?
I do. Yeah, my daughter is actually, I woke up and my hair was out here. And I'm like, you need to help me. So she's been in there curling my hair and combing it down. So that's really why I'm late. But I am, after this, I have a lot of fun planned for the week. That's for sure.
Good for you.
So I got a quick question. 15-minute guy, did that come before the book or after the book or is it a combination? Tell me more about that.
So the 15-minute guy's been for a while. And so based on that 15 minutes, I then started working with an accountant who was a client of mine on LinkedIn, because I turned around to him and I said, look, you need to do LinkedIn. He said like, oh, I'm not getting any leads. I said, you need to do LinkedIn. You need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do that. I go, right, brilliant. I'm going to go and do it. Saw him following week. He hadn't done it.
Goose
He
egg.
hadn't done it. I said, right, okay, look, jump on Zoom, share your screen. Look, you need to do that. There, you've got that. Yeah. And then you do that. Yeah. All right. And then you need to do that. Yeah. Brilliant. Next week.
No. He opened in, but he didn't do anything.
No. So then what happens, right? I said, right, this is, look, I'll tell you what, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 15 minutes, you and me, and I will help you. And I will hold your hand every single day for a week. Okay. So we went in the first day. I said, right, log into LinkedIn. Those of you listening on the podcast, I'm tapping the keyboard really, really slowly. All right. This guy didn't even have a login for LinkedIn. He had to go and find the password. And oh my goodness, no wonder you haven't done it. It's too difficult. And that's the thing. That's the thing. So when I turn around and go, oh, who's that? Who's that there? Who's that there? He goes, oh, I do the accounts for his church. I said, right, write this down. And I told him what to write. And he went, and I go, hang on a minute, wait there. and I hit the pay. I said, I hit the copy and paste, and I put it in the chat on Zoom. And I said, just cut and paste that into the comments. He goes, right, okay, got that. So I did this each day. All right. And then so anyway, so we wrote this little comment about this this guy had posted something about a van business or something, and I said, right, you need to write nice vans or something. I can't remember what we said, but I just told him what to write. All right. And I said, what have you just done there? So I've put a comment on his post. I said, how is he going to feel? Oh, I think he'd be quite pleased. I said, yeah, he will. You know, you've interacted with his post. But not only that, you've endorsed it because you're saying that this guy is a great guy and his vans are brilliant. So you've endorsed that. All right. Yeah. Okay. Do you know, by the end of the week, that guy phoned him up and he said, thank you very much for commenting on my post. You got me thinking. I need an accountant for my van business. Can you do it? £1,200 later, my client had a new client, all from doing stuff on LinkedIn. And I thought, oh my goodness, 15 minutes a day. I like this. And that's how it was born all those years ago. And so I did it with a few other clients as well. And then I left that business. And so I'm a coach for accountants. So I coach accountants and help them with their business. And it could be pricing, it could be getting new staff, it could be premises, it could be software, whatever it is around running a practice. Because I've been in the accounting space for 16 years now. So I know my way around it. And I've spoken to thousands of accountants probably over the years. And so I set up my business coaching accountants because that's what I did in my old business. I don't know if you have it in the US. Do you have these things called an anti-competitive clause?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, when you start a new job and everything's amazing and wonderful and you love each other, you sign a bit of paper saying, if I leave, I won't do this and I won't do that. Yeah, I didn't realize that I'd be held to ransom. So I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. I know what I could do. I could do my LinkedIn training, and that's what I did. And that's where I am. And so my old boss, for whatever reason, enforced this anti-competitive clause. What my old boss did was push me to do something that is absolutely amazing. I thoroughly love it. And out of all of that, I've now written a book. I would not have written a book if I'd have just carried on coaching accountants. So I owe my old boss, a load of gratitude.
Have you sent him a thank you note yet?
No.
You might extend the non-compete again.
Absolutely. But I know what I've done is good. So and it's just opened up all kinds of other doors by being a LinkedIn specialist. It's just incredible.
I got an idea, Ashley. I know somebody who can send really great thank you gifts. She's on the call here today. So I think that would be a fun one for you to send.
A card that would wow. That would really be something, wouldn't it?
I know. I mean, we got to get our sponsor acknowledged here, so.
So your book, would you consider your book a 15-minute hand, like you're holding a novice's hand for LinkedIn? Because you were saying he needed his hand held every way. So is your book basically holding our hands while we're trying to navigate through LinkedIn?
No, that'll be book 2.
Okay.
So there is another book coming.
All right. Woohoo. Well,
so talk about
we want exclusive rights to the interview.
Look at that. You see, so before today, no one invited me on their show as an author, and now you've already got me coming back for the next one. I love this. This is brilliant.
We have exclusive rights to the first interview.
We may have you sign a non-compete.
Yeah, I mean that was in our.
No, I know not to sign a non-compete now. I really know that. Oh, look,
there we go. That
book. You've got that book. Me too. Do you like the cover?
I do.
I like the cover.
I mean, I would look. The talent you hired, I don't know. I mean, that's questionable, but
when you say the talent, you mean the model?
Yeah. That's questionable,
It is.
I mean,
but it's all about personal brand, you see, Brian.
Yeah.
So it was my daughter that designed the cover, and she turned around to me. She said, "Dad, go outside and take a photo of you holding a book." And so I did. And then she grabbed, she took the image and then drew all of that stuff around it, put my branding on. It's all good. And since then I've painted my shed yellow.
Yeah.
So we're all on brand here.
Nice.
That's a good idea. I'm in the garage. I'm in my basement, so I might have to do something like that. So that's a good idea.
Yeah. No, it's good fun. Good fun. So yours is the blue, is it, Brian?
Well, we every once in a while expose the shelving back here.
Yeah.
But he has to be your branding blue. I don't know. Your book has yellow on the cover.
Yeah, mine's got blue in it. So yeah, this is how we get our plugs in.
So it's a similar sort of yellow as mine, Brian.
Oh yeah.
I mean, color. It's a good color.
I've been stalking you. What can I say?
So you asked, does my book hold your hand? No, it doesn't. What it does, it guides you. Now, what happens is people. I can do that. I can do that in my mastermind. But the thing is, I've done 35 cohorts now. That's 35 sets of people have come through my training.
Wow.
And so what it is, it's 15 minutes a day for 1 week. Yeah. So you come in on a Monday. I do a bit of stuff with you. We're all in a Zoom. I cap it at 15. We've got chat going on all week. So if you've got any questions, I'm here to answer them. Then we come in Tuesday and we do a bit more, and then Wednesday. And each day we've got a little bit of a theme. But during the week, we're optimizing our profile so we look beautiful by the end of the week. And by the end of the week, people are seeing results. They're not getting 1,200 orders from new accountant clients, but they're seeing things happening on their profile. They're starting to think, oh my goodness, LinkedIn is the place for me, and it's all working. At the end of each session, so it's just 15 minutes. At the end of each session, I say, is there any questions? On the Monday, it's like this. By Tuesday and Wednesday, it's what about and it's quite animated, and everybody loves it. It's absolutely brilliant. But what everybody says, it's all very well doing this, but what can I write about? We don't know what to write about. And the thing is, once you start writing, and you guys will know because you've written books, it becomes easier. And you see content wherever you look. Yep. And so what I've done is I've written a book that has got 101 different ideas. So you can open up any single page. So give us a number between 1 and 101, Callanan.
32.
32. Oh,
that's my number, by the way. That's my number.
My number.
That's my favorite number.
So there it is there. That's number 32. Here there's a little table that you can write in. So you can write the date and what type of post you did. Right at the beginning, there's loads of tips about how to write the post. But 32, it's called high-tech shortcuts. This is your idea for today. What new technologies do you use to save time or create shortcuts? We could all do with some more time. Why not share your tech-related productivity hacks? You may think everyone knows about them, but you'll be surprised that many people are entirely unaware of the many shortcuts on their phones or basic software, etc. And it goes on a little bit more. Is that the tip that you picked up? How on earth did you do that?
No, it's crazy.
That is bizarre. So yeah, so you're stuck at your desk. Oh, I've got to write some content for LinkedIn. Open up the book, think of a number between 1 and 101. Bang, got it, sorted. And because I've written about all the different things that you could write about, there's probably 2, 3, 4, 5 different ideas within each thing.
Right.
So you could start, if you wanted to write content for a whole year every single day, you could start at the beginning of the book, and when you get to day 102, you can go back to the start of the book and write. And because you've written in the book what you wrote about last time, then you could just write about this time. Because in there it said what's on your mobile phones, what's on your desktop, stuff like that. So last time I wrote about my mobile phone, so I wrote about the photo app, and then this time I'm going to write about Grammarly on the desktop. So yeah, it's just a prompt. It's a prompt to give you an idea, and I think we overthink writing content. Like, what are people going to what are people going to say? And no one cares. No one cares. And I tell you how I know no one cares. When was the last time? Did you guys have Prime or Netflix over there for movies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
both.
Have you ever gone on, flick through, don't know what you're going to watch tonight? Oh, this looks good. It's been recommended, and you start watching it, and oh my goodness! And you turn around to your friend and say, "Is this any good?" No, it's rubbish, and you turn it off. Does that ever happen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you ever write to Amazon or Netflix and say, that wasn't very good, was it? No. You don't care. You don't just care. Move on. and that's exactly the same with creating content. But what happens is you make people care. Yeah. So you start watching a series maybe on Netflix, and you go, oh, it's not very good. And then it gets a little good. Oh, this is brilliant. I'm going to watch the next one. So now you care. All right. And in there, there's there's a hero and a heroine, and you then find out that they're in other shows, and then you care about them even more because then you go and find them there as well. It's exactly the same with content. Just start.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't thought about syndicating the content and thinking in terms of Netflix or Prime, and it truly is that. Is like you get them on the first one, and how do you get them to want to come back the next day? Um, I study LinkedIn, and I've been writing myself for quite a while on there. And one of the things I like is one of my mentors said, if your writing sucks, they're not even going to see it anyway. So why,
Right.
it's going to be hidden. So nobody's going to it's not going to show up in their feed. So there's really no risk. The only risk is a reward in that you'll be writing something good that somebody will actually come back for. So
I had a TikTok person on my show ages ago now, and she'd done this TikTok, and it was quite personal. It was a bit of a story, and she put it up, and it didn't do very well, compared to what she normally did. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to take it down," but she didn't. 6 months later, somebody messaged her and said, "Just thought you'd like to know, I watched your TikTok, and it saved me."
Mm.
And you're sort of like, oh my goodness, you don't know what power,
Right.
that your content is going to do for someone. So yeah, don't ever doubt what you're doing, because if someone reads it and they get something from it, you're winning.
It's very similar to Brian's question. Would you sell a million books or have a million people? Millions in my mind today. I don't know why.
Well, we can always make it more hyperbole, but one of my mentors said to me, Brian, would you rather have 1,000 people buy your book or 1,000 people read your book? And I'm like, I absolutely read my book, because that's why I wrote it. Is I want people to have the content. I don't care about I mean, yeah, it's great to sell books, but that's not my goal. And so I think, if you set out to make money, it's harder to make money generally.
Yeah.
If you set out to serve people, and that's probably, I think as I read through your prompts, that they're going to elicit things that are going to be like providing value back to people. And if you can do that, they're going to read your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't think who said it, but if you give everything away, then people will see you as an expert and want to pay you for the better stuff. So yeah, it's
well,
and the other thing is,
or even pay you for the stuff you've already given them for free.
Oh, yeah, that's always good.
Well, I mean, a lot of times you're just saying the same thing in a different way. So when they want that access to you, they like you, you've established trust, and then they're like, oh, I'm willing to pay you for more of your time. So yeah, it definitely is a great avenue. Question about reusing content. Can you do that? What if you wrote up
Absolutely. That's why I've put the chart in here, so you can actually see how it's done. And so you put your date and time, you put your number of comments and number of impressions, and then notes about your content. So you might sort of like say, I did a photo, or it was a poll, or it was a video. And then next time you go, I did a poll last time. I'll do a selfie, or I'll do a document post. I don't know if you noticed, I did a post this week with my recipe for mince pies. I guess you guys don't know what mince pies are, do you?
I do.
You do. It's a delicacy in the UK. I think we eat something like 36 million mince pies. not me, not my family. The UK as a whole in December. So
that's December.
I'll Google it when you're talking in a second, or maybe Brian can Google it. How many mince pies? How many mince pies are eaten in the UK every year?
Every day.
Yeah. So, well, it's gonna be December, isn't it? I still haven't had one yet, but I made this mincemeat last week. I used to be a chef.
Now this is so crazy, is that when you start to type how many mince pies, it goes straight to are eaten in the UK. That's what it starts to fill in.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So
yeah, but if you put eaten in the US, it would go, what's the mince pie? Because the thing is, in a mince pie, you put suet. Do you guys know what suet is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Basically, it's shredded beef fat.
Yeah.
And you put this with raisins and sultanas and currants and sugar and cherries and brandy. And you're sort of like, why would you do that? But you do, and it's lovely.
Well, you're probably okay on par for the month of December, but it says 800 million.
800 million mince pies.
Yeah.
In
Every
the
year.
UK. In the UK.
Year. Yeah.
And the population of the UK is 70 million. So how many do we eat? How many does that work out to each?
Well, some are eating too.
Yeah. And you can buy them in the supermarket ready made. In boxes of 6 and in boxes of 6 and 12. So what happens is, on your way to work, you'll buy a couple of boxes and you'll put them by the coffee machine, so everybody will have a mince pie. So you probably eat 2 or 3 every day at work. So yeah, it's 800 million mince pies. That's incredible.
Yeah, so some of the data is a little bit, I got one that's saying Britain as a whole are set to eat 781 million mince pies in total this Christmas. So, we might have to do a little bit more digging on this research, but
that's incredible. That's a hole I've opened up, isn't it?
Well, I think your next book should be 101 mince pie recipes.
So what I did is I did the mince pie recipe last year, and I just did it again this year.
Because you're probably hitting a new group of people, right?
Well, I've got twice as many followers this year that I had last year. So half of them would not even know that I'm a chef. So so that that's the thing, and that brought up another conversation as well. So all good fun.
I think it's just as important to make comments, because I'm much better. Like, I'm still in the afraid to write comment kind of thing. I'll do one every now and or write a post, but I love commenting on my friends' things, or if I see something that's just plain interesting. And I've literally gotten business just from like that, like your client did, just from acknowledging something that may seem simple to the person writing it, but it was like huge for me,
Well, and this is the thing. And on day 2 of my training, I talk about commenting, because it really is the way it works. And if you think of LinkedIn as a big networking event, okay, when you write a post, that's the speaker at the front of the room doing a talk.
Right.
Yeah. And all the comments is everybody at the event networking. Oh, wasn't the speaker good? Oh, did you like what they said about that? Oh, I don't agree with what they said about this. And we all start talking in the chat. Yeah. Oh, why have you done your hair today? Oh, I'm doing this next week. Oh, are you? That's interesting. And you start having those little chatters, don't you? Yeah. Now, if you go to a networking event and you go around the room and say hello to as many people as possible, lots of people in that room are going to know who you are. All right. If you're a little bit shy and you go and stand in the corner next to the coffee machine just eating cookies, then no one's going to know who you are. That's you just doing your likes, or not even or not even looking. So it's all about the comments,
right?
I think there needs to be a skit of somebody standing in the corner giving likes at a networking meeting.
You always do 2.
I like 2.
I need to turn on my little mine are working. My Mac thumbs are working. Are you on a Mac, Ashley?
Yeah, I am. I was just trying to. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like this one. This is my favorite.
It's actually working on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't work on a podcast though, does it? So if you're listening back on the podcast, you can't see what we're doing.
Oh, well, it should go on. Audio version.
Yeah.
All right, thumbs. For those who are listening, it's thumbs and hearts. Okay.
Have you done that one?
That's the one I couldn't remember.
Yeah, mine's not catching. Oh, there it is.
Now we're seeing balloons, folks.
Yeah.
Only on the right spotlight. Okay. Writing your book, Trials and Tribulations. Is there any advice or anything that may have happened that would help our listeners say, oh, I better make sure I don't do that?
Okay. So the first thing is why write a book? Yeah. And they say that everyone's got a book in them, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I had so I was inspired to write this book by this guy here, John Lamerton. Okay. And this guy here, I keep hearing an awful lot about, Michael Heppel.
Really great.
So those two people, were inspiring me. But there's also another guy I need to give a shout out to, is Daniel Priestley, The Key Person of Influence. That is an amazing book. And I was listening to a podcast somewhere about this guy that was doing amazing stuff. And he said he read that book, and that's where he ended up going. And I thought it's a great idea to have a book so that people know about you and what you do. And it just gives you a little bit more credibility in what you do. It's even better if the book's good and people buy it and talk about it, which is great. But then you're sort of like, oh my goodness, writing a book, that's a big undertaking, isn't it? It's a huge undertaking. And so I sort of thought, what could I write a book about? And because, like I said earlier, everyone kept saying to me, what about all these ideas? And how do I? And I was like, right, okay, so I'll do that. And it's starting it. That's fine. We can all start something, but we've got to finish it. So here's the top tip, guys. Once you've written your book, all right, if you're driving, pull over and write this down. Once you're writing your book, what you do, you need to have a launch party. There is nothing more fun than getting a load of people together and having a launch party to celebrate the launch of your book. It's just the most incredible experience. I spoke to a few people before I booked mine, and some of them had done it and said it was brilliant. Some of them hadn't done it and wished they had. And I thought, I don't care. I'm just going to do it. And so I booked the launch party before I finished the book. Because if you've got a launch party, you're going to finish your book, aren't you? So that's what you do. You book your launch party, or you book your second interview on the right spotlight, and then that means you've got to come on and talk about your book.
So when are you going to be finished with that second book? Okay, come on. Are you going to go on the record right now? Let's do it. You heard it first.
I haven't even started.
We got you down for June 21st next year.
That's the longest day. That is.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Halfway through the year.
Yeah. That's a sad day for me. That is.
So, what do you think is the best tip in your book? Or if you want a top three, you can do a top three.
Well, so the top tip in my book is I talk about repurposing content. All right, because you've got to come up with all these ideas, and I think it's towards the back of the book. There's a section that I talk about repurposing, and the whole idea of what I'm going to tell you now, it's going to give you 12 posts for LinkedIn. So what you do is you write a top 10 of something. So whatever business you're in, okay, here's the top 10 ideas to da 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 da. All right. So that's the article that you write. All right. That could be a blog post on your page. All right. Then what you do, your first post on LinkedIn is, over the coming weeks, days, months, however you want to spin it out, I'm going to be writing about my favorite subject, and I'm going to come up with 10 ideas around whatever. Yeah. And by reading all of these, you're going to be able to 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's post number 1. Post number 2 is idea number 10. Post number 3 is idea number 9. And you keep going down until you do the 10th post on the 11th day. And then on the 12th day, go, over the last 10 days, I've been writing about the top 10. And here are the highlights.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that you all know something. You can all write a top 10. All right. If you can't, you could do 7. You could do it over a week. 6, 5, 3. Because on the first day, on the Monday, you write that on the Monday, you're going to write that you're going to do a top 3. And then on the Friday, you're going to give us all the highlights. Yeah. So that's how you do it. So I think that would be the top tip, because you're not writing something twice. Right. So that's the thing. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and then break it down again. You do the first tip, you say the 10 times, you do that 32 times in a year, and you have an entire year of content. So you really only need 32 concepts or something like that. I'm just tossing some math. I'm not, mathematician here, but about 32 times you do that and you got a whole year's worth of content. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Works out.
So yeah, but I think the thing is we overthink what we write. If we were at a networking event right now, the three of us, we would be chatting about all kinds of things. We'd be talking about books. We'll be talking about the US. We'll be talking about the UK. We'll be talking about mince pies. Yeah, we might be talking about cruising. We might be talking about garages, whatever. But we'd find loads of stuff to talk about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would resonate with anybody. And it's just, you just write it up. But the other thing is we're here having a good old chit chat. Do you use that term in the States?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So we're having a good old chit chat. How many times do we have a good old chit chat and we go, hang on a second, let me just think about what I'm going to say. It doesn't happen, does it? We just come straight out and say it. We don't think about it. We just say it. So why can't you do that with your content?
Right. Or do we say, wait, I need to do a dramatic pause? Right? Or I need to put a comma here. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or do you walk up and say, hi, I'm Brian, and I would like to tell you about the 10 ways to improve on LinkedIn this week. And if you come back tomorrow, I'll give you another one. And then if you come back on Tuesday,
that could work.
So, yeah, I mean, I always like those little skits where they make fun of how you talk to each other online. And if you were to doing it or on web conferences, if you talk to people in person that way, how stupid it would look.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, I think, we definitely overthink that. If we can make life a lot simpler when we're just, on LinkedIn talking like humans, it goes a long way.
And this is where the emojis come in, right? Because I could call you a rude name and smile, and that I'm just joking, having a laugh with you. Yeah, that's just the way. Especially me, I'm just cheeky, and I'll just say something like, "Yeah, and it gets a laugh or whatever." If I wrote it down and you read it and you weren't in a very good mood, you're going to think I'm awful. So that's where I put the little rolling the eyes and the laughing and the crying emoji, because then this guy's not serious.
If only there were
important
conversations in life.
Well, so in real life, we've got body language, and so I can tell you're deadly serious. Or I can, and so I've got a little grandson, and he's staying with us at the moment while we're doing up his parents' house, and I'll say something to him, and I'll say it in a tone that he's looking at me, and then I'll just smile, and he knows I'm messing with him, and he just starts giggling, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So that's why I use the emojis.
So how about like family? Were they excited when you published your first book? Had it changed anything?
Oh no, they all came. And this is the funny thing. This was cool. So what happened, right, is the book comes. You got the parcel, haven't you? You open up the parcel. And oh my goodness, I made this. I made that. Look, it's got my name. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, look at that. And then we have dinner. And it's sat on the side. And I'm sort of like eating my dinner. That's my book. Can you guys believe that I wrote a book? And my
it never gets old, does it, either?
So my daughter turns around to me and goes, well, Dad, you said you were going to do it. We just knew you would.
Oh.
No, fair enough.
That's super sweet, though. Oh, my God.
So yeah, they all came to the book launch, and my little grandson came as well. So it was a year ago. So he was only 2, and so I had John Lamerton, who wrote this book here, Routine Machine. So John actually came and did a speech at the talk, and he was saying some statistics, and my little grandson was heckling him at the back of the room. It was so funny. It was so funny. But yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun. It was a really good. There's a comment there from Pavel. He came to the launch party, and so did James. It looks like they're up for another book launch. It was a good evening. I went to a venue to book the venue, and I said, thinking of this, thinking of that, and they go, oh yeah, it's going to be this much. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's really expensive just for a book. And I turned around to my friend and I said, look, I'm thinking of doing a book. Oh, you got to do a book launch. You got to do a book launch. And I said, well, I've looked at this venue, but I've also thought about this venue and just doing a beer and a pasty. Do you know what a pasty is?
Oh, I love pasties.
All right. Okay. So beer and a pasty. And she turned around. She looked at me. She said, oh my goodness, Ashley, that is you. And so we had beer and pasties. It was a brilliant evening. A friend of mine came and played some music, and then at the end I played my song with him, and it was a great evening. It was a great evening. So yeah, definitely do that again.
So I know you got other things planned for the day, Ashley. So hey, where do people go find you? What's the best way to get connected with you? What's the best place to buy your book?
LinkedIn. So the link that you can see there is a shortened link for because the URL for my book for some unknown reason is that long. But yeah, if you Google my name, because I do an awful lot on LinkedIn. Google loves LinkedIn. So my name is going to come up because of what I do on LinkedIn. I'm also known as the 15-minute guy. So I might come up if you Google that. So yeah. And do reach out on LinkedIn. I love chatting to new people.
Yeah, he was messing with me this morning. I commented on his post about I'm seeing in 2 hours. And he's like, "Oh, is that today?" I'm like,
"Did I put that funny emoji down?"
I don't think you did.
Oh,
or I was not sure if you were like it was funny emoji like, what. Okay.
Well, we had a problem with Michael Heppel because there was the time change, but we hadn't had our time change yet. Remember that? And
yeah.
And he said, he said something, and I thought he was joking, and he was serious, and I'm like, no, it's in 10 minutes. He's like, oh, so luckily it worked out. But those emojis are important if I've learned anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's been a real pleasure. We could chat all afternoon, couldn't we? But I really have to go because I'm actually going and doing a mummers play. Okay.
Oh.
Which is street theatre. We're doing it in a pub because they've got a Christmas party. So we're going there. I dress up as King Tipu, and we do this little enactment, and we fight each other with swords and that. It's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, we're going to go and have a bit of a laugh there, and because it's a Christmas party at a local pub, then my family are going to come along as well, and my little grandson's going to have a whale of a time. So yeah, it's just looking forward to it.
Well, we definitely don't want to keep you from that today. So,
and I appreciate you being here so much. I mean, I enjoyed meeting you so much in London and getting to know you even more as I was on your show, you're on this show, and I know we will be talking a lot more in the near future as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Have a wonderful day. We're going to toss you into the green room, and you can hang out, or if you got to roll, go ahead and catch that bus to your party. So we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, cheerio, everybody. Bye-bye now. Thanks for having me.
Woohoo!
Of energy.
I love it.
Bottle his energy alone. Oh my gosh. So, but no, when I mean, he's so knowledgeable in LinkedIn, and just writing the book of tips made so much sense for him. And I couldn't show you mine because it's on my phone, and I'm on my phone. I'm so glad that you had it.
Well, I mean, I was actually going to buy the hard copy, but I was traveling over the past week, so I'm like, I better get the ebook version so I can read it before we hop on here this week. So, you've known these people longer than me, so I've had to catch up on all these books in week. So
we've got a nice book club now, right? Don't we?
Oh, I know. I still want the hard copies because I want them up on my shelf and all of that.
Yeah.
But
now it's actually a workbook, and it's at my house too. I have the I have and I mean, you write in it, and I mean, if I can't write something down, I won't do it. So, I mean, a lot of people do things online and on their computers, but I like having something that I can just write into. And that's what's so great about his book. Takeaways. The launch party, that was the biggest thing, because that right there, you're creating an accountability group, which a lot of our other authors have talked about. And I just love, that's a fun way to have an accountability group too. You have to have a party, but then you're held to a higher standard of getting things done. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of public accountability. I do it all the time. I mean, I think we both do. We just just like this podcast. Hey, we're going to start a podcast. It starts this weekend, and we're going to go at 10:10 each week. And yeah, and then once you tell everybody you're doing it, you have to do it. So
people are actually. Oh my.
Uh-oh.
Just knocking on the door, but Emily is jumping across the bed to take care for me. But anyway, what was another takeaway?
Yeah. Well, he had a couple of them that I'm definitely biased on, and my favorite one is that writing a book is an asset to your personal brand, and so when you're going out, hey, he's the 15-minute LinkedIn guy, but when he's the 15-minute LinkedIn guy and he's got a book to go against it too, it's still, I believe, the ultimate. That's why we've some of our other authors have brought up the idea that, hey, the word author is part of the word authority. And, it's like, we forget that it's not, we just think it means writer or book person, but it really means I am the authority on this topic. I've taken the time to put it down. So I think it's such a great tool for that. And people forget about that part of it. The other thing is just the model of the book. It's very similar to my book, Customer Delight 365. And, I think and I've modified my coaching with people on books to do a little bit shorter. So I typically do 52 books now, but the idea that somebody has access to it, it's not so deep and rich that you can pick it up, pull up a page, read it.
Right.
I think, everybody wants to be, Hemingway or, some brilliant author, but is that really accessible? And so, writing something that people can read in the short attention spans of today's world is always a great thing. So quite honestly, they're my tips too, but I just, he said them. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and double down on them. So
because you have authority in helping writers get their books past the finish line.
Yeah, and and his model is a model that you can actually complete too. Like you're not setting out to write this, Moby Dick 1,000-page book. You're going out and writing something that you can accomplish 3 to 6 months. And to be quite honest, it may not be relevant in a couple years. So you don't want to write an oversized book in today's world.
Exactly. So we want to thank everybody for being here today. We did our normal intro, so I want to remind you, if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. Shoot us a comment. If you have questions for Brian or I or Ashley, make sure you put it in the comments. We will get back to you with answers. We're so grateful for everybody that's been watching and rewatching and joining us every week. So I did want to say thank you to everybody for that right away.
Yeah, we'll be announcing our next couple weeks of guests. We'll be posting them to LinkedIn. We're working on confirming a couple people, but we will be live next Saturday at 10:10. It may be pre-recorded, but we'll be playing back live. So join us again next week on YouTube at The Right Spotlight. We will be back, but we got a couple people that we're recording this weekend. We'll let you know who is going to be showing up on Saturday, and then who will be up the following week. So
just have great guests lined up too past December. I mean, we're booked almost through March, so it's in February left, but I've got the feelers out and waiting to hear.
And we've invited everybody back for next year, so we're like basically we're booked through like 27, I think. So
and if you book 3 times, it's because we really like your therapy. So, well, I hope everybody has a great Saturday. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, sounds great.